Hi everybody, I am Becca Wright. I am a park planning coordinator for the City of Jacksonville's Parks, Recreation, and Community Service Department. There are over 400 parks in the city, and they are in every area of the city. So you're talking about people that use these parks are from every background you can think of, whether they are local and from here, whether they're an immigrant to the United States, whether they came here from another state. So I've been in this position only for about 6 or 7 months, but with the department going on 4 years. And this is my third parks department, so I've definitely had my fair share of experience in this world, and it's been an interesting path to how I got here, considering my educational background. I have a bachelor's degree in anthropology from Auburn University and a master's degree in anthropology as well from the University of Alabama. So I ended up focusing in my master's program on archaeology specifically, but I did do a heavy focus as well in the physical and bioanthro side of things too. So my family is like really big history buffs. So I grew up with a love of history. As well as my grandfather was an amateur archaeologist. So that was definitely something that influenced me a lot. And I would say while I was at Auburn, I did minor in history as well. So I was very much interested in archaeology and history, but I still wasn't really sure, even as an undergrad, what specific subfield I would maybe potentially go on to study further. It kind of took me a little bit to get there, but it's not surprising that that was what I ended up studying as a master's student. I would say it's a little bit of necessity of life. I came out of grad school needing a job that was definitely more flexible in terms of being able to move. And so I made the really tough decision to not pursue an anthropology specific job at the time for personal reasons, because it is one of those fields where you kind of have to go where the jobs are. And I wasn't able to do that at the time. And so I kind of landed in Parks and Rec from the fitness world, where I started teaching some fitness classes for them after I'd become a certified fitness instructor, and then worked my way up managing a rec center for the local county Parks and Rec department that I was working for in Alabama. And slowly over time ended up out in Oklahoma City, working for the city of Oklahoma City in their parks department, and had a couple of different roles in their parks department as well. And then I ended up here in Jacksonville about 5 years ago, and I ultimately ended up working for the parks department here as well. And I was mostly drawn to this field, I think, because of the public service part of it. You definitely can't get away with working in public service without having a passion for people, and I very much credit my educational background for cultivating that passion. I always go back to probably one of those concepts that every Anthro student learns in their first intro class, which is cultural relativism. I'm sure everybody's heard it and knows what it is. But I have to say that, working with people, that is such an important concept, even in the sense of trying to put yourself in their shoes. When it comes to my job specifically, right now, with the Parks Department, I do a lot of various projects, doing with like upgrades to community centers or installing a new playground in a park. We even do even little stuff, in terms of making sure that all the benches are not broken and replaced, and trash cans and things like that. I use it all the time, cultural relativism all the time, in terms of just when I go into a park space, or always remind myself of, how do the locals in that area of town, how do they see this space? How do they need this space? How do they use it? How do they want to use it? It's not about me, it's about how they see it, and what's most important to them. And, the things that go into how they see a space and want to use it, a lot of times does go back to their culture, whether that's their local culture or their, home country. That's how they're going to view a space and want to use it. And so I think that's always helped me to keep that in mind in my work, and I will probably continue to use that. I wish I had known going into anthropology that it is, each subfield is a very narrow job market. You have to be willing to move where the jobs are. And I think that's really important to know going into it. What I would advise students is just being open-minded. I think the sky is the limit in terms of where you can work and what you can do and how you can contribute. I absolutely love serving my local community, and I've taken that everywhere I've moved. I immediately realized that being a public servant was the best way that I could serve my community and get to know my community all at the same time. And I really would just hope that the next generation of anthropology graduates could, don't let your anthropology degree be something that anyone ever tells you, why did you get that degree? Be ready to defend getting this degree. I think it's a very important degree, and I think it can be an asset in a lot of jobs where we as anthropologists do have the ability to look at things from a different perspective that not all of your colleagues one day will be able to bring to the table. What we do even outside of the field of anthropology is super important.